dimly lit room in Rosario, Argentina. A small boy, a young Lionel Messi, sits on a bed, his legs dangling. A syringe rests on a table. His father kneels beside him, preparing an injection. The boy doesn't flinch. Every night, the needle went in. A small prick, a routine, for a boy who just wanted to grow. In Rosario, Argentina, a steelworker named Jorge Messi performed a ritual that would decide the future of football. His son, Lionel, couldn't grow, so Jorge injected hormones to help keep the dream alive. At 11 years old, Lionel Messi was told he would never be more than 4 feet 7 inches. The doctors were certain, and the treatment cost $900 a month, more than Jorge's factory salary could ever cover. But the doctors only measured bones, but not the heart. Jorge was a factory worker by day, coach by night. He stood on the sidelines of Grandoli, watching his youngest son embarrass older boys with the ball stuck to his left foot. He knew what he was seeing. He just didn't know if the world would ever see it too. Lionel Messi, 1995 quote, "I'm going to be the best player in the world." His grandmother Celia told him that. She believed it. She died before she could see it. At Newell's Old Boys, they called them the Machine of '87. A youth team so dominant, so talented, they seemed unstoppable. Messi was its engine. Nearly 500 goals during his time there. Local legend, future star. But every night, Jorge came home to a question that had no good answer. How do you pay for medicine your insurance won't cover? Newell's offered to help. Then they didn't. River Plate wanted him badly, but they couldn't afford the treatment either. Argentina was collapsing economically, and with it, the dream. So Jorge did what fathers do. He found a way. 2000. The family had relatives in Catalonia. Connection. A chance. Jorge packed up his 13-year-old son and flew across the Atlantic to a trial that would decide everything. The coaches watched for 30 minutes. That's all it took. Karl Rexach, the sporting director, saw something that made his chest tighten. This boy wasn't just good. He was inevitable. But the board hesitated. Signing a 13-year-old foreigner? Paying for his medical treatment? Investing in a child? It was unprecedented. The deal started to slip away. December 14th, 2000. The Messis were running out of time. Jorge was ready to give up, to go back to Rosario. And then, Rexach grabbed a napkin. No paper in sight, just cloth and ink. He wrote the contract by hand. He promised to sign the boy, promised to pay for the treatment. The most important document in football history, written on something meant to wipe mouths. The handwriting on the napkin, written in Spanish, says, En Barcelona, a 14 de December del 2000 y en presencia de los tres. Minguella y Gagioli, Karl Rexach, Secretario Técnico del FC Barcelona, se compromete bajo su responsabilidad y sin importar opinions en contrario. Official al jugador Lionel Messi. Siempre y cuando nos mantengamos en las cantidades acordadas. The family moved. Jorge found work. The injections continued. And the boy grew. From 12 to 14, Leo injected himself every night. At first, his parents did it. Then he learned. A routine. A ritual. A reminder that his body was a project. His future a gamble. Lionel Messi says, I injected my legs once every night. It was not something that left an impression on me. It was something routine that I had to do, and I did it with normality. The boy who couldn't grow became the man who couldn't be stopped. 2003. A friendly against Porto. 16 years old. Messi steps onto the pitch for the first time with the senior team. He doesn't score. He doesn't need to. The assistant coach turns to the bench and says something that will feel like prophecy. Henk ten Cate says, it seemed as if he had been playing with us all his life. 2004. Official debut. 17 years old. The smallest man on the pitch, carrying the weight of a family's sacrifice. May 2005. A delicate chip over the keeper. His first senior goal. And Ronaldinho, the reigning king of Barcelona, lifts the boy onto his back. A coronation disguised as a celebration. The youngest scorer in the club's history. But while the world watched the player, Jorge was building something else. An empire. 2005. Inter Milan comes calling. They offer to triple his salary. Jorge listens. Then he calls Barcelona's bluff. New contract. Better terms. He learns the game within the game. By 2006, at just 19 years old, Messi became Barcelona's highest-paid player, overtaking Ronaldinho, overtaking everyone. The factory worker's son, now the most valuable employee of the world's biggest club. Jorge Messi, in a 2013 interview, said, "He always followed what I said to him as his coach. Even now, he is still like that. He has never told me, 'I'm 25 now, grown up, the best player in the world.' I'm still the same as a father as when I was his coach at Grandoli." A courtroom sketch. Headlines flash. The Messis, father and son, sit together in the dock. 2013. The spotlight shifts. Spanish tax authorities investigate. Offshore accounts. Image rights. Millions in alleged tax evasion. Jorge testifies, his face tired but unbroken. Leo sits beside him, silent, supportive. The accusation: between 2007 and 2009, the Messis evaded €4 million in taxes. The defense: we trusted our advisors. We signed what we were told to sign. And defense: Lionel Messi said, "I signed the contracts as I trusted in my dad." The verdict: guilty. Suspended sentences. Fines. A stain on the legacy. Narrator: guilty. Both of them. 21-month suspended sentences. Millions in fines. The father who built the empire, now accused of building it on sand. Jorge and Leo leave the courthouse together, walking side by side, just as they always have. But here's what the headlines missed. They walked out together, father and son, still standing, still together, because some bonds aren't broken by judges. A montage of heartbreaks. 2014 World Cup Final. Messi walks past the trophy, stopping to stare. The image freezes. Messi gazing at the golden cup he couldn't touch. 2014. The World Cup Final. Germany 1-0. Messi walks past the trophy, stops, stares. The photograph becomes the symbol of everything he couldn't give his country. 2015. 2016. Copa America Finals, both lost. Messi collapses on the pitch. Then, the announcement. The words no one wanted to hear. A press conference. Messi, in tears, announces his retirement from international football. The room is silent. It's over. He meant it. The weight was too heavy. The criticism too sharp. The boy who never quit, ready to walk away. A quiet moment. Jorge and Leo alone in a room. No cameras. No contracts. Just a father and his son. Jorge speaks, his hand on Leo's shoulder. We can't hear the words, but we feel their weight. We don't know what was said, but we know what happened next. Messi came back. 2021. The Copa America trophy. Messi lifts it finally for Argentina. The stadium erupts, and in the stands, Jorge Messi weeps. Copa America champions. Finally, Jorge in the stands, tears streaming. The factory worker from Rosario, watching his son lift the trophy that had haunted them both. 2022. The World Cup Final. Argentina versus France. The most beautiful game ever played. Lusail Stadium. The final. The one they said he'd never win. Messi scores. Celebrates. The camera catches his face. Not just joy, but completion. He scored. He lifted. He conquered. The only thing missing was the man who started it all. After the final whistle, after the confetti, Messi searches the crowd. He finds his mother, Celia. They embrace, long and tight, but the camera searches too for Jorge. Finally, somewhere in the chaos, Jorge was there. The man who signed the napkin. The man who believed when no one else would. The embrace between father and son is brief, almost understated. But it says everything. A split screen. Left side, young Leo at Grandoli, Jorge coaching from the sideline. Right side, 2022, the World Cup trophy in Leo's hands, Jorge in the stands, older, grayer, still watching. Lionel Messi has scored over 900 goals, won every trophy, broken every record. But ask him who made it possible and he'll give you the same answer he's always given. When asked who he owes his success to, Lionel Messi says, "I owe everything to my family, to my father." The camera pulls back to show the pitch in Rosario where it all began. The same dusty ground, the same goalposts. Two figures stand there, a man and a boy practicing in the fading light. In Rosario, there's a factory worker who never played professional football, never scored a famous goal, never lifted a trophy, but he built something more valuable than any career. He built a foundation. The boy grew, the man aged. But on that pitch, regardless of all the memories, every negotiation, every sleepless night, they remain what they've always been. The napkin, the one from the restaurant. It sits in a frame now, preserved forever on May 17, 2024. The famous napkin confirming FC Barcelona's commitment to sign a 13-year-old Lionel Messi in 2000 was sold at Bonham's auction house for £762,400, $965,000 to $969,000. Father and son, coach and player, the painter and the masterpiece. In football, we look for the goals, the glory, the greatness. But this story shows us it's the family in the shadows who help write the story. This has been Career Footsteps. Subscribe for more journeys.